Hi, good morning. I don't know. How you doing? I'm Mike.
I'm Levi.
We're two guys in the kitchen. Today's episode is salmon. We're doing a roasted, broiled salmon dish with cucumber and avocado salad. Very light, very healthy.
Very quick.
Very quick. The salmon's going to take at most 6 minutes to make. The salmon we got came from Scotland. It is 100% organic and 100% sustainable. So the salmon I got today, I made a phone call into my dad, and he made a phone call into one of his suppliers. This supplier farms their salmon off the Shetland Isles off of Scotland in the, well, basically in the ocean. It's in the northern Atlantic Ocean. They're not by any locks or by any gullies. They're in the middle of the ocean. I was looking at pictures of them the other day. The company is Pure Fish. It's an amazing company. The salmon, I've had the salmon out now for about an hour or two. You can't smell it. It's fresh. Fresh salmon, fresh fish will not smell fishy at all. Even if you go into the store,
Man, it's pretty.
ask them to rinse it under cold water. If after they rinse it and you smell it and it smells fishy, don't buy it. The bacteria on the fish are starting to break it down, and that's that smell you get. So this one, like I said, this one was swimming in the ocean yesterday, and it's on my counter today. So it's as fresh as you can get in Colorado.
It's fresher than you can get in
It's
Colorado.
fresher than you get in Colorado.
Let's get connections.
Yeah, the companies that get it here, I don't know. I don't know where they get their salmon from. I didn't want to give it a try. Like I said, I called my dad. I know how reputable he is and where he gets his salmon from and where he gets his seafood from. So I wanted to go that route so I can get the best quality fish that I could. So it's really simple. As you can see, the skin is on. Okay. I'm going to leave the skin on. I'm going to cut this tail portion off though. Not all of it, just. And I'm going to keep the tail portion in a little baggie right here. What I'm going to do there is I'm going to make a fish broth with this. And then I'm just going to quarter these up. Very simple. Have your water running. Keep your knife clean. Get a still. Bring your knife along the still every once in a while.
Now the knife needs to be wet, right?
It's quite easier when it's wet.
Okay. Could you use oil, or would you?
No, I just use regular water.
Okay.
And that would be a perfect size for one person.
You may want more, but that's serving.
That's a serving size. That would be a serving size. And my knife, I sharpened it today. It is really sharp. I'm just going through and cutting the salmon.
The sharp knife is really necessary with this because you'll tear.
Oh, you don't want to tear.
You can get away with that with like steak and chicken.
Yeah, with salmon though, with fish, you want it as sharp as you possibly can. Push down just a little bit.
Man, that's a pretty fish.
Now, if you don't want this section right here, that section right there, some people like it, some people don't. I'm not going to use it right now, so I'm just going to cut it. So, can't say so.
Can't say so.
My wife is highly allergic to seafood, which sucks for her because this salmon you can eat raw, which I'll probably do later on tonight. I'm just going to slice some off and just nosh on it just because I can. So what I'm doing for her is I went out and bought a strip steak. Okay? The strip steak, I'm just seasoning it simple with olive oil, salt and pepper, And that's it. The olive oil I have on it only because it's going to help keep the salt and pepper on the steak. I'm not using regular black pepper. I'm using white pepper. The salt I'm using is a flake salt, almost like a kosher salt, but it's flaked.
It's like crushed kosher.
Crushed kosher, more of a... The surface on it is better. And I'm using a white pepper. I'm going to let this sit and marinate for a little bit before I stick it on the pan. My pan is already heating up, medium high, regular Dutch oven, cast iron. I have my oven going on a broil because my seafood, my salmon is going to be broiled instead of in a pan. I'm going to put it on a rack on a cookie sheet. Stick it on broiler. You're going to broil it for 3 minutes and then check it. If the salmon is an inch thick, you're going to do 3 minutes on one side, flip it over, do 3 minutes on the other side. Since some of this is an inch thick, I'm going to put the skin side down first, and then I'm going to turn it over that way. My seasoning is going to go on it. It's a very simple olive oil. I have a quarter cup of olive oil, dill, rosemary, and 1 lemon I'm going to squeeze.
Because with fish, always lemon.
And I'm just going to put it right here in the olive oil. Squeeze into your hand so you get all the seeds.
If you have tons of cuts on your hands, or you
it hurts like an SOB.
One, you can use a juicer, but this is just the most convenient way of doing it.
I'm using my rosemary. I'm just going to put on the salmon, so I don't know exactly how much. I'll tell you when I'm done.
That's how we do it. It's Two Guys Kitchen, right?
That's how I do it. I just throw stuff on and say that's good.
We do a lot of eyeballing.
I'm going to say 1/4 teaspoon dill, maybe a little more. Now, earlier today, I made a compound butter with dill. It's regular dill and butter. That is in my freezer right now, getting hard. Once my salmon is almost done, I am going to slice that up and stick it on the salmon so it melts right into it. It's going to be really nice and good. My salad today is cucumber and avocado. Very simple. You slice the avocados, dice up the cucumbers, throw it in a bowl, rice wine vinegar, mix it up with some dill. I took 4 cucumbers, peeled them, seeded them, cut them in half.
Now you have 2.
I have 2. I'm gonna quarter. I'm gonna half and then half those ones. And I'm just gonna dice them up. It's about that big. While I'm doing this, Levi is gonna take 2, 4, 6, 7 avocados, and he's gonna do kind of the same thing. He's gonna half it, take the seeds out, cut these into chunks, and then this will be our cucumber and avocado salad. So you do that, I'll do this. It's really simple. Like I said, you just half. And there's a reason why I don't use avocados anymore.
And why is that?
Because I was holding an avocado
What I just did?
like this. So if you have the seed, okay, you hit the seed and it's supposed to stick in and you turn. Well, my knife was dull that day, and I hit the seed.
Sorry, I cut through the seed on that one.
I hit the seed and the seed rotated, and I sliced my finger. So I let my wife do it, or I'll let Levi do it, just because it's
It's your episode and I'm the soup.
Well, that night I want to cut avocados and cut myself.
Maybe. So you'll sacrifice me.
Yeah.
It's a sacrifice you're willing to make.
You know, as many times as I've cut up avocados and I've cut my hand the last couple times and I'm like, nope, no more.
Avocados are now the curse of fruits.
Yeah. I love them,
Avocados.
but no more.
They're not actually a fruit, they're a drupe, but, you know, who's keeping track?
While Levi's doing that, I'm going to be basting my salmon. Like I said, in here is lemon juice and dill, and I have rosemary right here. And I'm not going to use a lot of rosemary.
Just a kiss. Like you give your sister.
No.
I'm sorry, I had to quote the Penguins.
So, I'm just going to sprinkle the rosemary over my salmon after I brush it with this dill.
He's laughing at me.
With this dill sauce right here. That's my dog.
Dog's being a weirdo.
And now I basted the rack with olive oil so the salmon doesn't stick to it.
What are you doing over there, dog? And you wanted these diced, right?
Yeah, diced up like, okay, almost filled that. Like the cucumbers. So about like that. Put a little bit more dill on just because I like dill and salmon go really good together. Don't eat the avocados.
I only ate the tiny little... That's delicious. I only ate the tiny little slice that came out.
Put my rosemary on. Not a lot of rosemary. Okay. Put this aside. Wash my hands. Because now I'm going to be touching steak.
And we have allergies here in the United States. You know, I tried to kill your son earlier.
I know, right? It's only mint. It's not going to hurt him, right? By the way, my son's allergic to mint in general, peppermint, spearmint, winter mint. So anything with mint, it's going to kill him.
And what do I go and give him?
Mint.
Mint tea. You know, that way he'll get right into his system.
I had my pan on here for a while. As you can see, it's a little discolored in there. That's fine.
It just means it's ashy hot.
A little more olive oil. Let it heat up just a little bit more. I don't want my rack all the way on that top setting just because it'd be too close to the broiler pan. Because the broiler heats from the top and not the bottom. If you regular bake, it heats from the bottom and circulates that way. The broiler is right on top and it's right over the meat.
And it's hot.
And it's really, it's like 500 degrees plus. So I don't have it all the way to the top. I have on the next one down. It's about 5 inches.
5-6 inches.
About 5-6 inches away. This is going to take 6 minutes tops to be done. My steak is going to take 8 minutes to be done. So I want to time it to where my salmon comes out roughly the same time as my steak does.
That way the people at the table can get their dinner at the same time and enjoy
Yeah.
it.
So I'm not going to put my salmon in just yet. But I am going to put my steak on. And my compound butter or dill, I'm going to do the same thing with my salmon and my steak. I'm going to use the same butter. So I'm going to cut up the stuff for my steak first, just because I don't want to contaminate the salmon or anything. So this is going to be done first. And like I said, right before the steak is done, I'm going to stick it on here and just baste it in it so you can get that nice dill, buttery taste. Okay? Ah, that's hot.
It's hot mic.
As you can see, my salmon has been on there for 4 minutes underneath the broiler. My steak is almost done. What I'm going to do now is turn the salmon. Now I have 2 spatulas here. I just touched the steak with this one, so if I touch the salmon with this one, I can't use it anymore. So I'm going to switch over to this one for the steak. And the salmon, like I said, it's really simple. That is almost done.
That's gonna fall apart.
I'm not even going to worry about flipping it. I'm just going to...
Is salmon skin edible?
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah, I say just finish like the last 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe 2 minutes.
Butter, butter, butter.
And Mike's slicing it when it's frozen, because it's a lot easier to do that. If it's in room temperature form, you'd have to take it out of the wrapping and all that. This just makes it easier. Place it on top. It will melt in.
Back into the broiler. Cut one for the steak.
The French preparation.
Steak is done. What you can do now is put it under aluminum foil, keep that heat in, or you leave it like this. I'm going to leave it like this. I don't want it to cook any longer than I have to. It's still going to be hot. I'm just going to cool down just enough to eat it and cut it. Our salmon,
And then of course steak needs to rest for a couple
yeah,
minutes.
and you know why? When you cook steak, you're breaking apart the cell walls. All the juices run out. That's what
That little bit inside.
90% of that is. You have some butter in there and some olive oil, yes, but a lot of it is the juices from the steak. So what you do, if you cut the steak right now, all those juices are going to go all over the place and you're going to have a really dry steak. If you leave it like that, they're going to almost come back into the cell walls and redistribute into the steak. So when you cut it, it's going to be nice and juicy.
And then what little bit will run out onto your plate.
My salmon is done.
I wish for all our viewers that we had invented smell-o-vision.
Now, give me 2 forks.
2 forks. That was a spoon.
Whatever. How you can tell if your salmon is done? This salmon I'm not...
That's how you could tell.
This salmon I'm not really concerned about, only because the kind of grade of salmon it is, you can eat it raw. Look at it as sushi grade tuna. Those who eat sushi, your #1 grade tuna, really bright red tuna, slice it and eat it raw, and it's good for you. You won't get any bacteria, no mercury, no nothing. This is just like that for salmon. You can cut it in half and eat it raw. Big chunks, small chunks, slices, over rice, little salt and vinegar on it, it doesn't matter.
Salmon tartare.
Salmon tartare. So, I'm not really going to care if it's raw in the middle, just because I'll eat raw fish. But
I've seen you eat raw fish.
if you get salmon from the store, again, have them rinse it under cold water and smell it. If it smells fishy, don't buy it. If it doesn't smell fishy, go ahead and buy it. Broil it. If your salmon, when you take it apart and flake it, this is like really, ooh, that's cool, that's good.
Let me see that. Oh, that's perfect.
If it's this kind of pink all the way through, you're good to go. If it's a little pink right in the middle, just very little, almost like raw pink, that's still fine. It's not going to hurt you. You don't want your salmon so well done that there's no flavor to it. We're going to let this sit for a little bit longer while I get the vinaigrette and the dressing ready for the salad, and then I'll plate everything up for you guys. That is my salad. It looks green.
Looks like cucumber guacamole.
And I'm adding more green to it.
A different green.
This is dill. I have fresh dill in here and dried dill in here, along with rice wine vinegar and half a lemon. I'm going to pour this right over my salad. Want the dill in there.
We have all the green because it's Irish.
There you go. Get the dill mixed in. If you have to add more dill, because that's a big clump of dill right there, add more dill.
We'll sprinkle a little bit on each little serving.
Each plate, yeah.
And some salt.
And I have plate here. Get it out of the way. Put my trash away. I'm going to try and get my salmon first. And
oh, it fell apart.
Fell apart.
That's a good sign. That's right. If it doesn't try to fall apart, it means you overcooked it.
Plate, my salad.
Man, that's bright.
It's a lot of salad. I understand that. I know, but
it's a light dinner.
It's a light salad. A little bit more dill. The salad out of the way. Get back there. Got that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm shaking a lot.
Oh, that's good.
There you go. Your broiled salmon that it just flakes and falls right apart with a butter dill sauce. Your cucumber avocado salad with dill and rice wine vinegar. I'm Mike.
I'm Levi.
We'll see you guys in the kitchen. See you next time.
This is mine.